Hello there, everybody. Dragonfire here. Welcome to another one of my videos. I always forget to say this stuff, but if you watch these videos, you like them, please hit like, share, subscribe, notifications, all that kind of stuff on your YouTube things so you can see when my new videos come out. Um, Help me get my subscriber count up, all that kind of stuff, please. Uh, Help support my channel. I love you guys. You guys are a great audience. Comment on the videos. Tell me your thoughts. Today, I want to do Avril Lavigne, her discography here. She currently has 7 albums that are out here. And, all right, we have from 2002, Let Go. Under My Skin from '04, The Best Damn Thing from '07, Goodbye Lullaby from 11, 13 gave us her self-titled album, so Avril Lavigne. You also have Head Above Water from 2019, and from 22, just 2 years ago, we have Love Sucks. Okay, so those are the 7 studio albums from Avril Lavigne, and I am going to rank them. Now, you may notice something here. I have not done very many uh, artists who debuted after the turn of the millennium. I'm mostly a classic rock and heavy metal guy from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. You know, that classic rock and roll and heavy metal. Uh, but I really like Avril Lavigne. I think that she is a great example. She's got some uh, rock and roll. She's got some punk, some pop, some dance, um, with some variety. But she has her own particular style. I like her voice. I like her singing method. Uh, Very interesting artist indeed. Uh, so let's get into her album ranking. Now, coming in at number 7 for me, I don't own a physical copy of this one, but it's an album that I only more recently discovered since I started looking back into her discography. Like, I had the first 5 albums, and I didn't even realize that the 2 more recent albums had come out. Um, but I looked into her discography and oh, she's come out with 2 more albums in the past, uh, you know, 5 years or so. She's come out with a couple new albums. So, but what comes in number 5 for me is Head Above Water. This is her 2019 album. It's her 6th studio album. So number 6 here, Head Above Water. This one, granted, I've only just recently listened to it for the first time, but it really just didn't do anything for me. I just found it overall kind of boring. Maybe it'll grow on me over time and I'll appreciate it more. But Avril Lavigne, um, just didn't do much for me with this album. Um, Nothing, none of the songs here. I'm looking at the song list right now. None of them really stand out to me. Um, but it's not bad. It's still Avril Lavigne at the end of the day, and I really appreciate her as an artist. So stuff is good. It's just not what I'm gonna reach for first. If I want to pop in an Avril Lavigne CD, or if I want to put an Avril Lavigne maxed on or something, if I was setting up songs, I want to probably include any songs from this album. It just doesn't stand out to me. All right. Um. Next up for my that was my number 7. Her 6th album was my number 7, and her 7th album is my number 6. Now again, this is Love Sucks from 2022. Um, and there's a few songs that stand out to me. The first song on the album, um, Cannonball, is okay. Uh, Kiss Me Like the World Is Ending is track number 6. The title track is okay. Deja Vu is okay. FU is okay. There's a number of songs here on this album, and I'll show it to you guys here. Get the uh, get the album up on the screen here, a physical copy of the album here. But yeah, this one really doesn't stand out to me all that much. You can see the track listing there. Um, some songs that stood out to a few songs that stood out to me more than the rest of the album, but overall, it's just not something that um, really speaks to me. But then again, like I said, these are the two new albums that I only more recently discovered, and maybe they'll grow on me over time. Maybe they'll move up on the list. One thing I want to say is there are like three songs on this album where she does some duets. One with Machine Gun Kelly. I'm not really familiar with a lot of his stuff, but at least know his name. I have some name recognition there. And then there's a Mark Hoppus and a Black Bear. Don't know those guys, but she does a couple of duets. They really just don't stand out to me as being all that good. I'm not really that into the duets that she does on this album. Um, all right. All right. Gonna come in at number 5, and to me, this is where her discography really starts to get good. So my number 5 is gonna be Under My Skin. Um, I really like, as you can tell, my sixth and seventh um, were 6 and 7 in my ranking, but this is her second album from 2004, and it's pretty solid from beginning to end. This is, even though it's only my number 5, this is to me when they really start to get good. Um, um, I Probably the reason why I have it ranked in fifth place and not any higher is I do feel like it's a little bit too much of a continuation of the first album. The first album is great, obviously, still to come in my ranking here. But it does feel a little bit just too much of like a part two of her first album. And while the first album is good and I really enjoy it, this just feels like a lesser version of that, let's say. So, but it still comes in number 5 for me, and I still really, really enjoy this album. I just feel like the other four that are above it offer something a little bit different, rather than just a part two to to a previous album. But yeah, it's still a really good, fun time to listen to, slip away. Happy Ending might be my favorite. My Happy Ending, which is track number 6. That's probably my favorite song on this album, although Nobody's Home is also pretty good. Um, so yeah, I still enjoy this album, but it comes in number 5 for me, and my top 5 here I think are all really good albums. Okay, my top 4 though, this is where I have to say with my pick for number 4, where you can get some variety with these 4 albums so that they don't all sound the same. Um, you get some good variety with these 4 albums. So my number 4, so kicking off my Mount Rushmore, is The Best Damn Thing. And I'll turn it over here so you can see the track listing there. Some really good stuff on The Best Damn Thing. I enjoy this album so much. It's similar to her first 2 albums, but I would say that it's a little bit more lighter. You can just see that by the album with uh, the front of the album with the pink and whatnot. That this is going to be a lighter, bit happier album. To lighten things up in her discography here. Um, I feel that I like Girlfriend. Um, the title track is okay. Really, you can listen to this album from beginning to end, and I would say the same thing about Under My Skin as well, and just have a good time listening to it. but I'm just trying to pick out uh, some really good tracks to kind of get either a feel for what this album sounds like. But yeah, even though it's one where I wouldn't even necessarily pick out the better tracks or whatever. It's just one I can listen to from beginning to end, and it's really nice. But yeah, check out the title track. That'll give you a clue as to what the album is like. Okay, so coming in at number three, this one's gonna get my bronze medal, and this is the self-titled album uh, from 2013. So I'll put the track listing here so you can see that. This is really the most outside of her wheelhouse that she ever gets. It's ironic that her self-titled album would be so different from everything else she's put out. But if you want to pick the album that's an outlier sound-wise from everything else she's ever done, this is the one. Um, if someone else listened to just one of her other uh, albums randomly and then listened to this album, I would forgive that person if they just did totally blind from not even realizing that it's the same artist. I mean, that's how different this album is. It's really got a different vibe to it. But it's still enjoyable, very enjoyable, in my opinion, which is why I give it my bronze medal. It's my number three. It's her fifth studio album from 2013. I like Bitchin' Summer. Bitchin' Summer might be the song on here that sounds the most like the previous albums. Um, but everything on here is really fun. Hello Kitty is definitely a very different style for her. Um, Bad Girl, even though I'm not a huge fan of Marilyn Manson, she does a duet with Marilyn Manson on Bad Girl, and I really enjoy that. This might be her most overtly sexual album, where she kind of leans into just embracing and having fun at um, very sexually charged lyrics in some of these songs here. Um, which is great. She can express her sexuality and talk about that she enjoys sex. That's a good thing in my opinion. Um, uh, Here's to Never Growing Up. I enjoy that one. Bitchin' Summer. Um, 17. Hush Hush. She also does another duet on this one called Let Me Go with Chad Kruger. I have no idea who that is, but it's not bad. But yeah, this is an enjoyable listen, but definitely get ready for her to be a little less rock and a little more pop, a little more dance on this album. Anyway, all right. So that got my bronze medal, third place there. Okay, for the silver medal, I'm going with Goodbye Lullaby. Um, I actually have the special edition when this came out. There were two different editions, and I got the special edition of this one. I don't know how many tracks are on the original. Maybe 13 or 14, maybe less, honestly, are on the original version. But you can see I have the special edition here that's a two-disc set. It comes with both the CD and a DVD, and has a bunch of bonus tracks that were not included on the original album here. But man, this is a great listen from beginning to end. The I'd say the original version, but like actually in reality, both both versions were released on the same day. It was just that the deluxe edition or whatever cost more. It was a little bit more expensive, but in my opinion, it was worth it. Um, so I mean, this is just a fantastic album from beginning to end. I feel like, this maybe should have been the self-titled album because I feel like she gets very personal on this album. Black Star, What the Hell. I think What the Hell was the big radio hit from this album. Push, Wish You Were Here, Smile, Stop Standing There, I Love You, Everybody Hurts, Not Enough, um, For Real, Darling, Remember When, and Goodbye, I think are the tracks that I'm pretty sure were included on the regular version. And then you have, of course, the bonus material on this version. You have a track called Alice and What the Hell, and What the Hell acoustic, an acoustic version of What the Hell, an acoustic version of Push, an acoustic version of Wish You Were Here, and then she covers the song Bad Reputation, which of course is Joan Jett and the Blackhearts song. Uh, just so um, just so that you know, that Everybody Hurts is an original song as far as I know. It is not um, it is not the same like Everybody Hurts. It's not the same song as the REM song Everybody Hurts. If you're familiar with REM, that's a song that I really can't stand from REM. I really don't like that song Everybody Hurts. It's just sounds like fingernails on a chalkboard to me. REM's song Everybody Hurts. But this is a completely different song here. Even though I do like some REM songs, Avril Lavigne here has a completely different song here. Yeah. She's even said that there's a number of songs on this that are too emotional for her to play live in concert. A number of songs off of this album, especially the deluxe division here, songs like Alice and Black Star that she says she doesn't know if she'll ever perform them in concert because of how personal they are to her. Watching the DVD bonus, gives you um, stuff into her thing. Actually, it's out of the case right now. I think it's in my CD player right now. Um, the CD itself, but then you open it up here and it's got the bonus DVD on the inside. So, um, yeah, um, this comes in second place for me. Gets my silver medal, but really, um, still, solidified my love for her after loving the first album, thinking that this second and third albums are both really good. When this fourth album came out, it just made me love her music, her catalog of music even more, you know. But my number one, in my opinion, she still has yet to top the debut. I remember my roommate in college actually turning me on to this. My roommate one year in college was an Avril Lavigne fan. He turned me on to Avril Lavigne's music. I think maybe I had heard "Complicated" on the radio and I enjoyed it, but just listening to this album from beginning to end, him having the album, I was like, man, I got to go out and get my own copy of that album because I enjoy Avril Lavigne so much. Um, Everything on here is great. Losing Grip, Complicated, Skater Boy, I'm With You, Mobile, uh, Unwanted, Tomorrow, Anything But Ordinary, Things I'll Never Say, My World, Nobody's Fool, Too Much to Ask, and Naked. It's a fantastic album from beginning to end. If you've only ever heard Complicated, or maybe you heard Complicated and Skater Boy on the radio, I still recommend checking out the entire album. Um, and really, really good stuff. Okay, that is my list. Um, Tell me, do you have a ranking for the Avril Lavigne albums? Have you listened to the earlier stuff? Have you listened to the later stuff? Um, yeah, just put it in the comment section. All right, thank you, everybody. Dragonfire out.